I've heard you describe what you do now as your main business model is you do basically a unique version of the BRRRR strategy with a W at the end. So on a high level, talk about what your base model that you do right now for real estate is, and then I'd like to kind of break down those components in a little bit more detail and talk people through. But 30,000 foot view, like what is your average deal strategy? Like what is your unique BRRRR strategy?
Yeah, for sure. Thinking back when I stopped drop shipping, right? The reason I stopped drop shipping was I wanted to align purpose and profits. I wanted to be having a positive impact in the world as I was making money. And I found that it was a very slippery slope to sacrifice the present in exchange to give back in the future. Like I used to think that, well, let me make the money now and figure out that forever wealth right now, and then I'll give back. And I found that to be a very slippery slope. And another thing with wholesaling is we were, selling a lot of our deals to hedge funds, right? Or just, other flippers or like large scale companies. And there's nothing wrong with that, but like we're just making the rich richer, right? It wasn't a thing I wake up and I'm like talking from the hilltops, like this is my like life purpose, We locked up our first deal with Subject to, and then we found a mentor locally in Kansas City. And basically what he did, the problem that he solved, and he's been doing this for 20 years, is there's tons of first generation Americans and entrepreneurs that want to buy houses, but they don't have credit, right? They have mailbox or they have like mattress money or they have, 1099 businesses. The banks aren't looking twice at them. The banks are not going to finance these individuals. And first generation Americans is the fastest growing demographic of people in the United States. For entrepreneurs, there's tons of them who want to buy houses, right? And so we started seeing there's this issue. We learned this thing where you can take over a property subject to or with seller financing, and then you can seller finance these families and make a spread in between. And we had a mentor who really walked us through that process. And the first family that we seller financed was first generation, I believe, from Mexico. And it was like them and their kids at the closing table, and they're extremely happy. It's their first time owning a house in the United States. They're literally achieving a big part of the American dream by gaining access to home ownership and starting to build wealth for their kids. And so we like just really start falling in love with the model. But that's like the main problem that we solve.